I really have to get like a light, like a ring light, you know? Gotta stop chincing out and waiting right before 7 p.m. before sun sets to film because the lighting of the sun is the only lighting I have. Anyway, so in this video, we're going to be talking about reptile hygiene. A lot of you are probably thinking, reptile hygiene, this isn't a dog or this isn't a human, you don't need to clean your lizard. There are some people who actually like to regularly clean their lizard, you would say, or pretty much this is a way to make sure your lizard stays clean, to even prevent some infections or diseases, because I know they can get respiratory diseases sometimes if they inhale too much loose substrate. So I'm going to cover like cleaning the nose and everything. A lot of people like to make sure their lizards are, you know, in tip-top shape. I know a lot of people are very fussy with their animals, so some may let their dog's hair grow and their nails grow, some may not. So this is for the people who want to make sure their bearded dragons are in tip-top shape on their model tip all the time, like Fitz. Or aka how to groom your lizard. Is that the proper term? I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes trying to think how I could say this, but okay, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about is cleaning your bearded dragon. We all know that bearded dragons love to step in their own waste by accident, especially if they go into the tank. Surprisingly, bearded dragons are actually very clean animals. I heard that online, so I'm not going beyond a Fitz because Fitz is not a clean animal. Most of their poop, if they're going to step in it, it's going to drag along their tail. So what you can do for that is get a toothbrush. I also made a video on how to bathe your bearded dragon, so if you want to go more into detail, then you can just click right here. You would just basically use a toothbrush and some soap, but don't use any kind of soap. Make sure it's baby soap, like Johnson's baby soap is really good. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't recommend putting soap on your bearded dragon at all, but I've used Johnson's baby soap on Fitz for a while now and it hasn't hurt him in any way. But you don't want to bathe your bearded dragon with soap every day. You want to only do it when they're dirty. Or you can also make your own DIY soap. I know there is a recipe and you can use coconut oil and stuff like that, and I'm planning on making a video about that, but I don't know if I'm skilled enough to make something, you know, that cannot harm Fitz. To keep your bearded dragon in tip-top shape, you want to make sure their nails are taken care of, right? So their nails are probably the #1 area or the #1 part of their body that will get the most dirty because dirt can get under their fingernails too. What you could do is make sure they're clipped regularly. I also have a video on that. You don't need to do this a lot. You just need to do this when the ends of their nails get very long. I'm not talking about where the white and pink is. I'm talking about where the black piece of their nail gets too long. Their nails start curving in or even under. And that's when you want to start clipping them. To clean the nails, you just want to do the same thing you do with a toothbrush. I mean, a toothbrush and water works just fine, or even your fingers, or even a cotton swab. Another thing you want to make sure that is clean in your bearded dragon is their nose and their ears. Now, if you see discharge coming from their nose or their ears, you want to contact a vet immediately because that is a sign of infection. But every now and then, Fitz has dirt in his nose. So what you could do with the dirt in their nose is you could get a damp cotton swab. Do not like soak it, literally just damp it, squeeze the water out, and you can dab right where their nose is. Don't like swipe, you want to dab because that's how most of the dirt will get up. Obviously, you're not going to get all of their dirt out of their nose, but you are going to minimize the dirt by a lot and prevent from all that dirt getting in their lungs. Another thing that bearded dragons love is obviously eating, but sometimes it's pretty nasty when the corners of their mouths get dirty. They can get, if your bearded dragon eats baby food, they can get baby food all around their mouth. And also sometimes I notice, because I do check Fitz's mouth for mouth rot, basically every time I pick Fitz up, I go like this. And like right here, you can usually see food, so I end up just picking that out with my nail, or you can even use a toothpick, but you want to make sure you check their mouth. And with the soap with the mouth, I wouldn't recommend putting soap on your bearded dragon's mouth. Just a toothbrush and water is fine, because obviously soap doesn't really have bacteria or harmful germs. It's just food, so you could just, you know, just like you do with a napkin, you just do it with a bearded dragon. And finally, how to keep your bearded dragon in tip-top shape. You want to make sure they have a clean environment. I remember cleaning it, or at least spot cleaning it about weekly, to make sure there's no leftover food, or if you have substrate in a box, I know that can get very messy and the dirt goes everywhere in Fitz's tank, so I make sure I just dust that into a dustpan. Guys, bobbing for super worms. Come on, Fitz, get him. They're drowning! You're giving them a painful death. Go! Look, you made him drown. And then you also want to make sure their water isn't stagnant. So what is stagnant? It's when the water is cloudy. You want to make sure it's clear at all times, so you just empty that out and pour new water in there. And most importantly, you want to make sure you don't leave their poop in the tank, because I did that like once or twice, then it wasn't pretty because then it dries up and it smells and it's nasty. So that was pretty much it for the end of the video.